Welcome, everybody. This episode, we have our top 5 tight ends, week 6 in the NFL on OwnersBox. If you have not played OwnersBox yet, use the link in our description. Use code MENLY. They are matching deposits up to $500. You have to give it a try. No kickers, no defense, just the offensive players, the stuff we love to watch. Unlike the normal Thursday night football games, we love to watch offense. So let's jump right into it with our tight ends. Soda, who are our honorable mentions this week that just missed the top 5?
Honorable mentions that could not make the cut. We got Danielle Bellinger, shout out Mo Alley Cox, and Cade Otton if Cameron Brate does not play. We actually decided to fade Taysom Hill this week. Didn't make our honorable mention or top 5. Keep that in mind. We're fading him.
Yep. I think a lot of people are going to be chasing him last week after the big game he had, but those 120 yards he only had on 3 carries. I don't think he's going to be able to do that again. So I think a lot of people are going to be chasing him, but not the boys of Menly stuff. So let's jump right into the top 5. We are starting with Packers tight end Robert Tonyan. Soda, what are your thoughts on Bobby Tonyan?
Big Bob is a machine in the red zone, big target. And I think you said this earlier on the running back show, but we expect the Packers to put on a show in Lambeau with Big Bob heavily featured.
Yeah, 5 red zone targets for Bob. That's not a bad number for tight ends. The tight ends have not been very solid this year, so if you can find one that gets targets in the red zone, that's a guy you want to go with. And Robert Tonyan at only 4,600 is a good play against a shaky Jets defense in Lambeau. Moving on to number 4, we have Evan Ingram. He is in my top 5 almost every week because I think he is a top-tier punt play at the tight end position. So do you have anything to say as far as Evan Ingram?
He literally is in your top 5 every week, but for good reason. And I think people featured him early, and then he had those 2 bad weeks, and now people are starting to fade him a little bit. Get back to him before you're too late.
Yeah, and that's what we're missing here is the touchdowns. Doesn't quite have the red zone targets, but 10 targets last week in their loss against the Texans. I think he's a good option. Big athletic tight end. He's starting to come into what we wanted him to be. So I think Evan Ingram is a great option this week at only 4,300. Just good value there. Move on to our number 3 play. And I think this is one of 2 tight ends that are actually like valuable, good, high-scoring tight ends. I think there's 2 of them, and one of them is Mark Andrews. He seems to be the number 1 target over in Baltimore. Soda, what do you think about Mark Andrews?
With the lack of talent or consistency they have at receiver, Mark Andrews is pretty much playing a WR1 for whatever price he's listed at, well too low for a WR1, and that's how you treat Mark Andrews when you look at him.
Yeah, and I know they had Rashad Bateman. Yeah, they had Bateman out last week. Looks like he missed practice on Thursday this week, so I would assume that he is going to be out again. So I think Mark Andrews could be possibly the top play this week if he's out. So Mark Andrews is a great play. 9 red zone targets across the year and plenty of targets all around. So that is our number 3 tight end. At number 2, we have Browns tight end David Njoku, who has been hot lately. Soda, what do you think about David Njoku?
Yeah, again, Jacoby just loves his tight ends. I think he might have been either was honorable mention or just cracked our top 5 last week, but Jacoby loves his tight ends. I just think he's going to be heavily featured. And I think the Patriots zone in on one thing, and they're going to zone in on the run defense this week. And that's why I like a big game for Njoku.
Yeah, the Patriots pitched a shutout last week, but we are hoping Njoku and the Browns can break through. And for his price of 4,600 and the amount of targets he's been getting at the tight end position, he's a great play. That leads us to our number 1 tight end. Before we get that, if you guys have gotten some value from our videos, which you should have, because we put up some big numbers last week as far as our top 5s, feel free to subscribe to the channel, listen to us on Spotify. But our number 1 tight end this week should come as no surprise. It is Travis Kelce. He is the other of the two tight ends that actually put up fantasy points. 4 touchdowns last week. Soto, what do you think about Travis Kelce this week?
Do not expect him to have 4 touchdowns again, but don't expect him to have only 25 yards receiving. That is an absolutely ridiculous stat to have 25 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. Expect a huge receiving game. We talked about it earlier in the receiver show with the Bills. This game is going to be electric.
Yeah. Tony Gonzalez said today that when you are the tight end playing as a wide receiver one, you really have to change up how you play the game. And Travis Kelce is doing that. He's finding ways to get into the end zone. He's not getting the long breakout catches, but when he does get the ball in space, as far as yards after the catch, Travis Kelce is that dude at the tight end position. And if you are looking to spend up at the tight end position, if you are looking to do a Chiefs stack, Travis Kelce's the guy. You're never going to know which of the receivers to pick. Just go with Travis Kelce. That's why he is our number one tight end this week on OwnersBox. So to recap, our number 5 tight end is Robert Tonyan. Number 4 is Evan Ingram. At number 3, we had Mark Andrews. Number 2, David Njoku. And our top tight end was Travis Kelce. We hope everybody has a great week on OwnersBox. Stay manly, everybody.